Hello Virgo, and welcome to your mid-January reading. This is going to be a reading for the next 2 and a bit weeks, which takes us right up to February, of course. Yeah, have you seen the yearly readings? Sorry, I've been away. We did do a weekly reading last week. I thought it's got a lot better, so that's really nice. And I've been involving the Chakra man, so we're going to be doing a chakra reading, we're going to be doing an aura reading, and then we're going to be finishing off with your cards. So without further ado, let's just get straight into our Chakra man. And there we go. So here he is, nicely done. Let's see what's going on with the root chakra. Okay, there is, and this seems like a running theme. If you've seen the collective reading, there's more on the left side than on the right, so it's administration stuff. It's also money. It's material world basically. So there is a sort of an anchor that you're creating at the moment, or you have at the moment, which would be good to maintain. It gives you a point of reference, a go-to between your inner desires and your long-term goals and that sort of thing. So that's going to help you there to at least get on with the administration sort of side, getting on with the meat and potatoes of it all, as they say, or the veg and potatoes of it all, depending on how you are. The left side is a little bit freer. So I would have thought you're going to be a lot more sort of social, I think. As we go through, you're coming up to your summer period at the moment, so it's going to be, things are going to be picking up for you in that sort of respect. Also sort of financially as well, I would have thought, just sort of like projects really coming together and stuff like that. So let's just see what's going on your sacrum. Yeah, this is really good. This is a lot more balanced than most that I've seen at the moment for this January period, and it's very stable. There's a good balance between the work and the play sort of side of things. Slightly more on the administration side of life, but in general, it's really good. It's very balanced, very nice. Let's just see what's going on in your solar plexus. Okay, so this is a lot wider. I think you've been fueled a lot at the moment, Virgo, over the last sort of like month, I think, with energy. It's been very zippy, very vibrant for you, very active, loads of things going on, new things coming in, old things coming in, old things going out, new things going out, and stuff like that. There's been a lot of activity going on, and you might get that feeling at the moment of just spreading yourself a little thin in that respect of sort of like your passions, your ambitions, and your desires, and your confidence, and your courage, and stuff like that. So you might be, going back to those old ways of sort of like trying to do good for everybody that you connect with, which is brilliant. But don't forget yourself in the whole sort of scenario. We're gonna have a look at that a little bit later on and try and sort that out. And let's just see what's going on your heart chakra. Yeah, this is very sociable as well. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of questioning, maybe, in concerning your heart. And this doesn't necessarily mean a relationship. It could well be, but it could also mean sort of your heart or your desires in how you, what you're working at, what projects you're doing, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's there's a lot of emotions in there, but there is a lot of sort of what I call frilliness. So it's a bit like your heart chakra that goes like that. The petals, they go from the top and the bottom, they go into each other very nicely, because every chakra has a back and front. And as they go like that, they sort of go like that, and you're sort of got a sort of swelling aspect there, which is not too bad. If it swells too much, then obviously there's too much on your heart, and it could cause you emotional stress and strain. I don't necessarily think it's that at the moment. But there is a bit of frilliness as well. So then that's all to do with sort of playing and having fun, that sort of thing, meeting people, you know, just socializing basically, being sociably, you know, following your heart in things. And I think that's a good thing. It certainly does help you out. The only thing is here is that solar plexus that I'm still sort of conscious about, because that's the chakra that's going to feed your heart with those passions and desires and warmth and fire basically. And if it's a little bit too spread out, it's because they work in tandem, the heart and the solar plexus. They're not connected, but they do work in tandem. And so when the solar plexus is a lot more finer, so is the heart. So you might be feeding a lot of your energies, might be going into a lot of different diverse sort of things, and I would just be a little bit conscious of that. We'll probably see that in the tarots at the end, really. But let's go into your third eye and your throat chakra. Well, this is interesting. A lot of people have been getting this, and we don't see it often, to be honest. And I think it's a sign of the times, of the way the sun's acting at the moment, and the energy is acting at the moment in general. You have your throat chakra that's a little bit bigger than your third eye chakra. So, and as I say, a lot of people have been getting this. So, and that's very into tune with communications. So that's communications is not a case of just speaking, it's also listening at the same time. So, you know, it's that sort of communications. There's also that idea of clairvoyancy that goes in with it. It's obviously sort of pretty blue, and it sort of gets that whole sort of, that's that connection with it. So you might find yourself speaking to past loved ones that are no longer here, as it were, you know, that sort of thing. You might, you know, sort of like as you're going on a walk, sort of saying, oh, I remember Auntie Mavis, she was so lovely. You know, having that conversation with them. It's, you know, I have it with my grandparents and the people who are no longer here. And yeah, so you might be getting into that. If you enjoy clairvoyancy and stuff like that, you've got a good energy for that at the moment. So yeah, you know, explore, I would say. So there's a little bit less in the way of mental activity. So there's a little bit less in the way of calculation of how you're doing things. And maybe this is where we can adjust this in order to help a little bit on the solar plexus and see what's going on there. Okay, let's just see what's happening on the crown chakra. That's really large, and this is where you're taking off 10 of Wands energy. This is where you're taking on a lot of energy or a lot of concerns and things from the outside world, which you shouldn't be taking too much on. You know, it's like a cup, so it's a bit like that. I'll put it like that. It's a lot easier to see. It's a bit like that, and it's like a cup, and as it fills up, and it gradually gets more and more. It droops a little bit and gets a little bit more heavy and weighed and laden and stuff like that. And then it could just go like that, which is not good, because that's going to shower you in a lot of logic, which is going to invade your energies, and that will create frustration, anxiety, sleep problems, bouts of anger, that sort of thing, you know. So it's this thing I do in my work as a healer, you know, a lot. Yeah. So it's a little bit wide, and I think we can use that as well to start putting that consciousness into your solar plexus. If you're going to do meditations, I would suggest that. You know, suggesting on eating maybe sort of more sort of fiery things in order to get things also moving for you. Because, you know, there is some fire in you, but it's there's not a great deal. But, you know, you're a pure earth sign, and sometimes we need that earth to be consumed because it can just bog us down. And that's what we got to avoid. So let's just go into that crown chakra. And everything's connected with like a cord, as it were. So once you start pulling on one cord, you end up getting sort of slack on the other end of the cord. And there you can put that slack into the solar plexus, and that'll bring it, tighten it up, as it were. So here we go. Sorry. So that's just tying it up nicely. So it will give you a little bit more sort of oomph, a little bit more sort of passion, a little bit more sort of decisiveness, because we don't think with our heads. That's a misnomer, really. We think with the body, and that's where the logic goes on. So the logic then sort of works out the emotions and stuff like that. It doesn't work out the emotions. Sort of says the emotions are saying this, so the heart is saying this, the stomach is saying this. Logically, we should be doing that. That's basically what's happening. So so this is where all the thinking goes on, and where the emphasis or the drive for any things that we want to do happens. And so, within the solar plexus, this is going to give you that determination to make it, as I say, a little bit more zippy, be able to make those decisions a lot more quicker. So then you're not getting bogged down in situations which, you can help, that's sure. But then again, if it's going to slow you right down, so you can't really help anyone, you're just supporting someone. You shouldn't really be carrying someone. You should be putting your hand out and sort of saying, hey, can I help you up? And once the person's up, then you let go. That's just the way it is. It's the same with kids. We've all, the majority of people have had kids. You know what it's like. You see they're going to fall. They're kind of, and they fall, and you make sure they're okay. And you help them get back up if they need help get back up. But even so, the falling and getting back up is a very good learning curve for everybody. We need to learn that, if we want to walk. So it's the same thing within the spiritual sort of world. Similar sort of, it's a bit like aeroplanes. You put on your mask first before you help other people. So we've just pulled that back into there. That'll be quite nice. And that means we don't have to touch too much on the third eye or the throat chakra, which is really good, which is going to keep those communications open. Okay? So if you're going to do some sort of meditations according to your chakras, I would be putting your meditation into your solar plexus at the moment. And that is also what's coming through on the sun. There's been a lot of fire and air energy at the moment, so it's going to produce a lot around that aspect there, around your solar plexus. Obviously, Virgo, let's just have a look at your stomach actually, because there's something that's coming through now. It may not be for everybody, but there's some people that might have a bit of a troublesome tummy, having stomach problems. Let's just have a look into the stomach and see what's going on. Okay, there seems to be a disharmony in the gastric juices in a way, which is causing a little bit of bloating, a little bit of maybe even a bit of heartburn and stuff like that. Maybe that's where that fire's a little bit too wide and it's just burning everything at the moment. Here, it's just playing through me now. Excuse me, I'll apologise in advance because I can feel it coming. There it is. It still wants to get more out, and that's quite mad. So there you go. I just need to go through the intestines as well. Just smooth it up. So if you're having these sort of problems, just sit down, take it easy, and just join in a bit of healing for yourselves, Sort of thing I do on a daily basis. And I've been loving doing it for the last 30 years. There you go. So that just helped that out as well. Help things ease off a little bit and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go into your aura now. Let's see what's going on there. There is too much looking out rather than looking in at the moment. I think that's, sorry about that. I think that's the thing. It's that is a good thing as well, and I understand that from what's been going on over the last sort of month and a half, 2 months with you, Virgo. You've had a lot of that type of energy that's been coming in, that's been charging a lot more your crown chakra and stuff like that. A lot of realization within you. Could be a lot of realization of sort of saying, I didn't realize I could do that, and I'm so glad now I realize I can. That sort of thing. I think it's gonna it's good, as I say, but I think it's now getting a little bit top heavy, so it's turning into something that's almost like an inverse pyramid, which is not particularly great. So, you know, when you finish off your meditation, you should always finish off a meditation with some form of technique. I do a technique which is I call the soap bubble. It goes into my tea, so I put a soap bubble on the top of my head, allow it go down to the back, down my back. I just do it going down my back, between the shoulder blades, goes down to the lower part of my back, goes down my legs, comes to my toes, and just let the soap bubble burst. And when you do, that brings all of that energy out of that. I've got to put myself back up there because I'm channeling at the moment. So there you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's always good to sort of like close things down, as it were. Puts everything back in place and stuff like that. It's a little bit like energy hygiene in a way. And that's usually that sort of is going to help you with sort of sleep deprivation, sort of, you know, as I said, anger bouts, anxiety, and all of those sort of things that we were speaking earlier on. Okay, so it's a little bit top heavy. So I would definitely get into the soap bubble sort of aspect of meditation every time you finish any form, even if it's a breathing exercise and stuff like that. Just take 2 seconds out just to drop everything back into its natural normal state, as it were. Okay, so apart from that though, it's a very nice clean aura you've got going on there, Virgo. Lovely. Yeah, really nice. Let's go into the tarot readings, and let's just start connecting with that sort of thing. Thank you very much. Let's just connect with your overall energies here. Let's see what's going on. There you go. Right, sorry, that took me a bit of time to connect there because there's other things that started coming in. Do apologise. Okay, the overall energy for the week. It's like it is healing. It is reconstitutional, reconnecting, or not for the week, for the month. It's reconnecting with yourself. I think this is, you're going to need 2 weeks to. Don't forget yourself. Don't forget your pleasures and stuff like that. I can see that's not too bad with your sacrum energy. But here it's you know, don't forget you and your path. It's good to stop off. I remember I was doing a cycle ride from London to Brighton. It's around about, I think it's around about sort of 60 miles or something, or 50 miles. It's a nice little jaunt. Maybe a little bit more than that, I don't know. And you know, just stopping off at that pub. Stopped off at a pub on the way through to get a drink. It was in a charity thing, and it is a beautiful place with beautiful settings, and I could have been there for all day, but I needed to finish the race. Well, it wasn't a race. It was like I just needed to finish the bike ride. It was a charity bike ride. So, you know, I think this is the same with you. It's nice to stop, and this is the moment to stop. But don't, you know, don't necessarily lose track of where you're going. I think this is what he's trying to sort of say. I think it's asking you to, yeah, there you go, High Priestess, get that intuition going. This is where you're sort of sitting there, and you might have not had an enforced slowdown upon you. And that could be physical, that could be financial or emotional. That the universe has just slowed you down a little bit, help you with that clear thinking going forward. And just having a new little glimpse of what's going on in the future, and then start heading down the road. I think heading down the road is definitely going to be something that's going to be in the next sort of like 10 days where things will pick up again for you. It'll start sort of like buzzing and what have you. Let's just see what's going on. This is just going to be your relationship side. This is the karmic message for your relationship side. Very sociable person, Virgo. You tend to be very sociable, and I would apply a little bit processing to yourself to sort of realise it's great to connect with people, but you can't be with everybody all the time. It's just the way it goes, and I would pick and choose a little bit more where you put your energies into. Yeah, pick. This is a time where you've done the work. Your karmic thing is in regards to relationships. So this could be your partner, this could be couples, your your family, friends, community, and that sort of thing. You've done this sort of work. You've got this fruit now available, and choose the relationships that's going to help them to grow as much as you to grow, and almost start with you as much as you to grow as them to grow. So I think this is what is asking of you this week, to understand that idea and have that clarity of thought to actually nurture those sort of or nurture those relationships that are really beneficial, not only just for you but for everybody. Okay, let's just see what's going on how the universe is trying to influence your karmic message. They've got this road of pillars. It's like a recognition in the next month and a half, next two or 3 weeks, sorry, a recognition of your karmic path. It's almost as if like you haven't seen it for some time, as if you've been in the town and you forgot about the open road. You've been in the town for some time, and it's recognizing that open path. Yeah, the Page of Wands is a very childlike energy, so like enthusiastic, childlike, and playing energy, which is really good for you, Virgo. You're very good at that, and it ties beautifully in with your social sort of side of life at the moment. And you should be exploring, I think, this karmic path of connecting with people and choosing the relationships that you wish to be in. I think it's really important. Let's just see how your guides are influencing this karmic path. Good time to communicate with your guides at the moment, and this is in guides within your meditation. We communicate with them with particular guides constantly during the day, through our thinking, through our inner conversation. But these are the guides that are sort of like, they're looking after the spiritual path, as it were. They're away from the body a little bit, and they're sort of, they talk through coincidences and that sort of thing, and sort of situations where it reminds you of, oh, I wanted to do that when I'm supposed to be doing that on this plane, right? Okay, and these guys here are really sort of noting a lot of what would be interesting for you to experience upon this new path which is opening up to you at the moment. So, Ace of Swords. This is a inspirational card in a way. It brings gifts and opportunities for you, and I think this is where your guides are helping you out with the gifts and opportunities. And through that gifts and opportunities as well, it's going to give you that clarity of thought, or that clarity of ideas of, these are the relationships that I should be connected with. These are the people that I should be sort of spending my time with, spending my energy, putting my energy into. With regards to your relationships, it could well be a new friend coming in. I'd say friend, or someone who is very complimentary to you, which actually, becomes a really good confidant, or that is also connected to your life, as it were, not just to your heart, but to your life. That could well be that the guides are trying to introduce you to people like that. Let's just see how how they're trying to influence you in the conversation within you. They're constantly reminding you of that path, I think. You have to pick and choose, as I said. You can't be with everybody all the time. It's like you can't satisfy everybody all the time, but you can satisfy some people some of the time. And don't forget to satisfy yourself as well. Our paths in lives are never the same path. They can be right next to each other and going the same way. And it's recognizing those paths and those people that are on those paths, because they are going to be your spiritual tribe, as it were. Yeah, I think healthy boundaries as well, but it's also talking about they're getting ready to you to go on that journey. The Nine of Wands is also setting boundaries up, as if to sort of say, we've learnt this, we're not going to go backwards, we're only going to go forwards. So it's not just boundaries for the outside world, it's also boundaries for yourself of how you are progressing. So it gives it like a flagpole in the ground. And if you look at the Ten of Wands after that, the Ten of Wands, he's got those poles in the ground behind him, and it's showing to him, this is where I've been here. I don't need to go back there. And it is about going on that journey. And I think those healthy boundaries are not necessarily for the outside world. I think it's just to recognize to you what you should be doing going forward, or how you should be progressing going forward. Yeah, there is the boundaries, the healthy boundaries with the outside world. So there's some people that could be just a little bit too demanding, that don't want to do the work themselves. And, I'm school my children in a sense of kind of going, if, I can lend you a hand to get up, but I can't walk for you. And I think you've got to take a little bit of that attitude on. And it'll be really clear for you, I think, Virgo. Really clear for you, that define that thing. Okay, let's just move on to your financial sort of side. There seems to be an opportunity. It's not an opportunity that is glaring you in the face. You probably see it. You probably know what it is. This is regards to your job, your business, your projects, that sort of thing. It's probably totally glaring in your face, and sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees. And it's like it's right in front of your face, and you're kind of going, what tree, what tree, what tree? I can't see any trees, I can only see bark. It seems a little bit like that. So I think this is what that karmic path on this side was also talking about, with the pillars that go down like a Roman road leading to a temple. And I think here is sort of saying, here it is, grab it, Yeah. This is funny enough. It's like that. It is like that. This is like that tree I was talking about, and you're sort of sitting there and you can't see it because and you might be wistfully at the moment. It's if we were to read the cards, it would sort of say stop going off in tangents. Now that where we come back to the crown chakra. So the crown chakra being too heavy, this is causing this problem. This is what you need to stop. Okay. You need to deal with that crown chakra so you actually you can really start following your heart and giving yourself that passion, that enthusiasm, and that fire to actually just go out there and get life. You know what I mean? And I think the karmic message is for that, in that respect, this week. Okay? So, so I think it's the time to, stop looking elsewhere and see that tree or that bowl that is directly in front of you. How is the universe trying to influence you here? Okay, so the situation seems to be here, and it could be any situation that you're in regards to sort of jobs, business, and stuff like that. The universe is sort of saying, okay, you've got that tree in front of you, yeah? But what are you going to do with that tree? Are you going to make firewood out of it? Are you going to make it into a chair? It's like the potential. You have enormous potential in front of you at the moment. And you've just got to decide. The universe is sort of saying, what are you going to do with it? This is beautiful energy because you've got this balanced, really nice between the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. It's going to free you up. You may have had that sensation that things have slowed down, or you're a little bit trapped, or you've got yourself in a situation which doesn't really help you. It's going to free you up. All of a sudden, you're going to start moving. You've got to fuel that passion in one direction. First things first, if I've got to make wood out of that tree, I've got to cut it down. So that's the first step. But I'm not going to be a woodcutter. I'm going to make furniture out of it. I'm a furniture maker, not a woodcutter. But I've got to cut the tree down in order to make the furniture. You know what I mean? So you've got to start with a thing. And so in a way, it doesn't really matter which direction you start. It's just start. Sort of thing. Don't hold back. Let's just see how the guides are trying to influence this karmic message. they're stopping all coincidences because you've got this big tree in front of you, like this evident thing that is in front of you, like the evident path, like the Seven of Cups I talk about, and recognizing that, they're sort of saying, stop. This is why you might get that sensation where things are slowed down. This evident thing that is in front of you does not just concern you, it concerns other people. So it could be, it may not, I don't think it's a case of starting your own business. I think it's a case of either getting a job or evolving in your career path, or starting a business with other people, or collaborating your business with other businesses. Whatever it is, it's good to sort of connect with the people and start. This is what I'm talking about on this side. Start, realizing where you put your energies into. You've done some really good work, Virgo, over the last sort of 2 or 3 months. You've progressed loads, and now it's time to put that into action in a way, or activate all that work that you've put in. Okay, let's just see how the guides are, influencing the conversation within you. There's they're saying, I keep hearing the song sort of, don't give up. Was it Cyndi Lauper? Don't give up. That's it. I keep hearing that. Or you can do it. You can do it. They're trying to build that confidence into you, just sort of kind of saying you've got to take that leap of faith. 7 of Swords. Yeah, I think they're trying to sort of 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords. Sorry, I do apologise. They're trying to sort of say that procrastination, that non-movement, that which we showed earlier on with the 8 of Swords as well. That non-movement has come to an end. That painful time where you felt like you might have got trapped and stuff like that, within a job, within a situation, or without a job, or a situation like that. And that has come to an end. It's now time to, allow those fears. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. That's what it's sort of saying. Don't give up. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Oh, I nearly took the thing out with that. Well, sorry about that. Let's just see what the overall energy is, the outcome is for you. It seems to be learning something or mastering something. So if you're starting a job, you might learn, say, like, I don't know, marketing, digital marketing, because you're working in, you've started up a coffee shop with some friends, and you've got to market it. No one's really a digital marketer within the group, but so you said, yeah, I'll have a go at it. That sort of thing. You're learning something as well. There's skills and things that come with this direction you should be taking that's going to provide a lot of things for you. Yeah, it's going to make you come out your shell and be a real revelation for you. All of a sudden you're going to realize your calling. This is all about your karmic path this week, this month here. The rest of this month here is all about working on that karmic path. Absolutely beautiful, Virgo. Okay, I have opened up 5 sessions for YouTube watchers, for healing sessions or private readings, that you can find in a link in the description below. That will be available for once a week for 5 sessions. I've got 5 sessions available per week over the next couple of months. Okay, so yeah, there you go. If you haven't subscribed, why not? You should be. It's a laugh. I'd be very grateful for your support, obviously. And don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.